Let's talk about one of the biggest stories happening in our lifetime. Right now, medicine is at a historic turning point, and it's all being driven by a powerful new collaboration, a partnership with artificial intelligence. And I want to be super clear here, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future we're talking about. This is happening today. AI is moving out of the research lab and right to the hospital bedside, and it is fundamentally reshaping healthcare from the ground up. And if you want to talk about scale, get a load of this number, $504 billion. That's the projected value of the AI and healthcare market by 2032. It's a clear signal that a massive economic and technological shift is already well underway. So where is this revolution hitting first and hardest? Well, let's start with diagnostics. This is where AI is basically augmenting the senses of clinicians, giving them a tireless, ever-vigilant second opinion. Think about that for a second. One medical image every 3 to 4 seconds. That's the unbelievable pace radiologists have to maintain. It's an absolute deluge of data that just screams burnout and opens the door for potential errors. This is exactly the kind of problem AI was built to solve. And this really shows us what it's all about. This isn't about replacement. It's about partnership. AI is acting as a powerful assistant. In fact, a huge study by Analyse.ai found that when radiologists had an AI partner, their accuracy went up significantly across more than 100 different types of clinical findings. It's a total game changer. And you've got these incredible companies leading the charge. You have ADOC, which is like an AI operating system for the whole hospital. Viz.ai, which literally slashes stroke treatment times by getting the right people coordinated instantly. Path AI is transforming how we diagnose cancer, and Butterfly Network is putting a powerful whole-body ultrasound probe right into a clinician's pocket. You know, with all these amazing new tools, a totally new problem popped up. At first, hospitals had all these separate AIs for every little task, and it was becoming a workflow nightmare. So the big shift now is toward these integrated platforms, one system to rule them all, which solves this really critical problem clinicians were facing called algorithm fatigue. Okay, so let's shift gears. We've talked about analyzing disease, but what about actually creating the cures? Because AI isn't just a better microscope. It's becoming a revolutionary new engine for drug research and development. Just look at this comparison. It says it all. Traditionally, discovering a new drug is this incredibly long, expensive gamble. But with AI, the early success rate in phase 1 trials is basically doubling. We're going from around 40% success to between 80 and 90%. That completely changes the economics of creating new medicines. And this isn't just theory. This is the actual timeline for a real drug from a company called In Silico Medicine. In month 1, their AI found a target for a fatal lung disease. By month 2, a generative AI had designed a brand new molecule from scratch. And by month 30, just 2.5 years later, that drug was in phase 2 human trials. That's a process that usually takes many, many years. Just incredible. This incredible speed is being driven by a whole new breed of company they're calling tech bio. You have firms like Recursion Pharmaceuticals that are building these automated labs, the wet lab, that run millions of experiments a week, creating their own massive data sets to feed their AI models, the dry lab, in this powerful, self-improving cycle. All right, let's bring this all down to earth. Beyond the fancy labs, AI is also fixing the everyday operational headaches that frustrate both doctors and patients every single day. Here it is. This is the core of the problem. For every 1 hour a doctor spends with a patient, they spend 2 hours on paperwork. That crushing administrative burden is the #1 driver of physician burnout, and it's exactly where AI can have a massive, immediate impact. So how does it actually work? Well, companies like Abridge and Suki have created these ambient scribes. It's pretty amazing. The AI just listens in on the natural conversation between a doctor and a patient and then automatically turns it into a perfectly structured clinical note. All the doctor has to do is give it a quick review and sign off. And the results? They're profound. This isn't just about saving time. Among doctors using the Suki AI assistant, there was a reported 60% decrease in burnout. The real return on investment here is the health and well-being of our clinicians. Now, what about for patients? For us, AI is creating what's being called the digital front door. You know, today's patients just expect seamless, on-demand communication, and having this digital front door is becoming the new competitive standard for healthcare providers. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Check this out.
Data from Artera shows that a bad communication experience is the single biggest reason patients decide to leave a practice. We're talking more than every other factor combined. So getting this right is no longer a nice to have. It's become essential for survival.
So when you put all of these revolutions together, in diagnostics, in drug discovery, and in daily operations, what's the ultimate vision? Where is all of this heading? The end goal here isn't a future run by machines. It's about achieving symbiosis. The real vision is to let AI handle what it does best, which is lightning-fast data analysis and automation, so that our human clinicians are freed up to focus on what they do best: complex decision-making, empathy, and the actual art of healing.
Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. We have to be really thoughtful about things like the de-skilling dilemma, making sure doctors' own skills stay sharp. And, of course, we have to maintain these unwavering standards for data privacy to make sure we keep patient trust. These are hurdles we have to get right.
Which really leaves us with this final big picture thought. By offloading this massive cognitive and clerical burden onto AI, will we finally empower our caregivers to focus on the empathy, the communication, and the human connection that have always been at the true heart of healing?